Namami Bhagavadpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahabhiryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Kataksha Kirana Chanta
Kataksha Kirana Chanta
Naman Mohabdhaye Namaha.
Naman Mohabdaye Namaha
Anantananda Krishnaya
Anantananda Krishnaya
Jagan Mangalamurtaye.
Jagan Mangalamurtaye.
Wait, we finished the second verse, did we?
Yes, we finished.
Okay. When is your cataract surgery planned, Jagdishanji?
I think possibly next week because they want all sorts of reports, ECG.
Yeah, but nothing very great. I've also gone through this, both eyes.
Yeah. But anyway, they insist on that probably.
No, they do.
Blood
They
test.
need to check all that.
Yeah.
And they also need
But
to check if you're on thinners and things like that.
no, I'm not on any of those things, so I can straight away.
But it's a day operation, so it's nothing very.
It's a day operation. It's only outpatient, this thing, so no need to. So in fact, Shashi wanted to take leave and all that. I said no need.
No need at all.
His two friends are in charge of the eye hospital and the dialysis center, so they will chaperone me.
So you first do one eye.
Yeah, after a week, another eye.
Yeah, for some days you'll be a little careful.
Yeah, I know.
Once
But
it settles down, it in fact becomes quite good.
yes, yeah. And what sort of lens you got fitted for yourself, Swamiji?
For the left eye, the highest lens they had. For the right eye also, it had some other problem, no? I had that lens put in there.
Okay.
So now with I can read without glasses, even relatively small prints.
Oh, excellent. But they found that there is some thin layer on top of retina, which is probably age-related macula. That's what they say. But they said.
Verse 3.
Verse 3. Mayyevo dheti chid yomni jagat an gandharva pattanam atoham ataha aham na katam brahma sarvajnam sarvakaranam. The author says that this jagat being mithya, your questions can be resolved. Even Ishvaratvam, Jagat Karanatvam is mithya.
Go back for a minute to the last paragraph.
Yes.
Because
okay.
If somebody is addressing a question to be resolved, what is that question? Read that also.
Okay. The last paragraph for the previous thing. Okay.
Yeah, I think you have to read from.
I am not the Karana.
To say that everything is non-separate from Brahman, from that paragraph, from that point.
Okay. Listen. Everything is, yeah. How can I be that Ishvara being what I am? There is a doubt because in Ishvara is the whole Jagat. He is not only the Nimitta Karana, but also Upadana Karana. That is what Shastra presents. Brahmana Anyat Kinchit Na Vidyate Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. everything is He, means that everything is non-separate from the Lord. To say that everything is non-separate from Brahman, that Brahman is both maker and material, Sarvajnam and Sarvakaranam. How can an individual jiva be Sarvajna and Sarvakaranam when I do not even know my own body properly? Mama Sarvajnatvam Katam. And also Sarvakaranatvam for me, how can it be? It's not possible. How can I equate myself to Sarvakaranam, that which is the cause of everything, that all-knowing Brahman? Even though it is nice to equate, it is not possible. That Brahman in whom the whole Jagat has its being, how can that Brahman be me? Is the question. It is answered now by Swamiji.
Can you see the fundamental flaw in the question?
By me, it is identifying as body-mind.
Absolutely. As long as you identify as I as the individual, these questions will come. The very, very fundamental question.
If you identify
Only
yourself
when
as
one
Brahman,
understands
then the question does not arise. So the Paramarthik. From Paramarthik view, you will have to take it, not the
Right. And
Vyavaharik.
the unfortunate thing is that this is the view that pervades all the time.
Correct. That is because
Even after we have studied for a long time, that still remains.
For generations, we've been used to this feeling that I am the body, I am the mind, I am the sense organs, etc. So disabuse that and then get back to the I am the Swasiddham, Swayam Sarupam. You are not making anything. You are discovering your original Swarupam. That's what Swamiji says.
Yeah. Divyansh?
So, Swamiji, this verse is the Purva Pakshi one, is it?
No. This question is Purva Pakshi's. The verse is the answer.
But like in the... Yes, you were saying something.
No, the question is that of the Purva Pakshi. And from the question, I think it is a very elementary question. But the answer will be more elaborate. You will see.
But in the previous verse, we already discussed the Aikyam, right? So
Correct.
why we are doing that?
Correct. We did discuss correct. So therefore, I'm saying the very fundamental question. Somebody is still actually it is. You will see that in the further verses also. What did we do in the first verse? We showed that
Pratishtha.
the Swarupa of Brahman and my Swarupa are the same. What is the Swarupa?
Satyam
I am
Jnanam Ananda.
Satchidananda, which is defined as the definition of Brahman. The my Swarupa and Brahma Swarupa are identical. Therefore, Brahman and I are the same. Is the way we discuss in a lot of detail. What is Asmi, what is Bhami, etc. But in essence, this is what we did. The Swarupa Aikyam we understood, and that was decided that Swarupa Aikyam. Now, he actually develops further. If you remember, in one of the classes I talked about Swarupa Aikyam, then there is a Tatastha Lakshanam, then there is Nitya Swarupam. All of these he takes up one by one. Why did he take up? There is no question in the text itself. So Swamiji is building up saying, this is an answer to a question like this that might come, is coming in the next verse.
Okay. And like when we discussed the structure of this text, we said that first will be like Pratishtha. I think the word like the Siddhanta, we will write that Aikyam is there. And then we will have Purvapakshi question. Then we have answer by
No, there is no actual question here, but the answer is there. So we assume the question, that this will be the question. In the text, there is no question.
Okay.
It's not like Bhagavad Gita where Arjuna keeps questioning. This is a thing by the author where it is clear that there is addressing a question. We will see when we read this.
Sort of implied one.
Yeah, it's an implied question. Yes, sir. So that is the question to which the answer is trying to be given in this verse. Maye vodeti chid vyomni jagat gandharva pattanam atoham nakatham brahma sarvajnam sarvakaranam. Now, here is the second line is where you will see in all the verses quite often something very similar. Ataha aham katham brahmana. How can I not be Brahman? Even if we define Brahman as Sarvajñam,
Sarvajñam and
Sarvakaranam,
Sarvakaranam.
I am also that only. So the second line is typically you will find Ataham Katham na Brahma. Earlier it was Aham Katham na Brahma as Sachidananda. Here it is Aham Katham na Brahma as Sarvajñam Sarvakaranam. Let's read. I'm sure all this will come up.
The author says that this Jagat being Mithya, your questions can be resolved. Even Ishvaratvam, Jagat Karanatvam is Mithya. The Karanatvam for Brahman is Mithya because Sachidanandam Brahma Aham Asmi. So even though Sarvajñam Brahma Jagat Karanam, the Jagat Karanatvam is from the standpoint of the Jagat, which is explained by bringing in Maya. All that is not talked about here. From the standpoint of Maya, there is Upadana Karanatvam. That Maya undergoes the Parinama, change. That is why the three gunas are for Maya, whereas Brahman is Vivarta Upadana Karanam. Therefore, there is nothing other than myself because Brahma Aham Asmi is not the
Both are being
Ahankara.
called Karanam. Okay, Maya is also being called Upadana Karanam. Brahman is also being called Upadana Karanam. How are both the Karanam for the Jagat? How do you interpret that? He's saying, where is that gone? Maya is the Upadana Karanam. Brahman is also the Upadana Karanam. The standpoint of Maya, there is Upadana Karanam, that Maya undergoes the Parinama. Brahman is also Upadana Karanam, only it is Vivarta Upadana Karanam.
So Brahman is the apparent cause.
Yeah. See, neither Brahman nor Maya can cause anything. Please understand this. When you understand that, all this, whatever we say is being caused, the whole Jagat, the Mithyatvam becomes clear. Brahman is a Karta. Maya is non-self-existing. How can Maya create anything? So neither Brahman nor Maya can create. But Maya is not different from Brahman. Maya is Brahman. Brahman is not Maya.
Right.
Maya is Brahman. It's an
Always
idea that you bring in because we live in this Jagat, we interact with this Jagat, we still have this Abhimana of this body, mind, sense complex, and therefore I am part of the Jagat. And therefore, we try and explain the Jagat to eventually refute it. But even in the explanation, you can see there's a problem. Neither Brahman nor Maya can be Karanam. In fact, that will come later. That's why this whole text is after you've done some Shravanam Mananam, this should stand out. Neither can be a Karanam. But to understand the Jagat and understand from our experience that everything in the Jagat must have a Upadana Karanam, and therefore the whole Jagat must have Upadana Karanam, we say the Upadana Karanam is Maya, Brahman. Yeah.
So, Swamiji, can we say Maya with Brahman is the Karanam?
You be very careful. You can say that, but then Maya is not a separate thing to say that Maya with Brahman. How will you say Maya with Brahman if there is no Maya?
No, but from the standpoint of Jagat, in that sense, we can say, right?
From the standpoint of from the Jagat, yes, you can say Maya in the presence of Brahman creates.
Is Upadana Karanam.
Yeah.
From the standpoint of Maya, there is Upadana Karanatvam. that Maya undergoes a parinama, change. That is why the three gunas are for Maya, whereas Brahman is Vivarta Upadana Karanam. Therefore, there is nothing other than myself because Brahma Aham Asmi. It is not that Ahankara who is Karya Karana Sanghata
Karya Karana Sanghata.
Karya Karana Sanghata Vishishta that we are talking about here. The Ahankara is an impostor. Therefore, that Ahankara is not equated here to Jagat Karanam, Brahma. It is only Shuddha Chaitanyam, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, which is said to be Brahmaiva Idam Sarvam.
Wait a minute, I think Divyansh has hand raised.
Swamiji, can you please elaborate this Karya Karana Sanghata Vishishta?
What is this? I am this combination of body and mind. In fact, we call it a body-mind complex, Sanghata, something put together. That individual I is because the Ahankar I identify with I, this body-mind sense complex. That is called Karnikaran Sanghata.
And that is also just a thought.
That's only because we are here and we have an identification with the Ahankara, and the Ahankara says, I am a man, I am a woman, I am 6 feet tall, I am happy. All of that I refers to this Karikaran Sanghata.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
And therefore, he says, Mayeva Udeti Chid Vyomni. What is Chid Vyomni? Chidrupa Akashe Chid Vyomni. In the Vyoma, which is the Akasha, the space, in the space of consciousness. It's an example. The beauty of each verse is generally the example Drishtanta and Dashtanta are both connected. There is an illustration here, like in Akasha. You see the Gandharva Patanam. What is Gandharva Patanam? The appearance of a city which you see in Akasha or clouds. You see the various castles, a big city, etc. Children see that. And then again, as you see, Drashta, Nashta, Swabhavatvam is evident.
When we were children, I remember doing this, I'm sure many of you have gone through the experience. In the evening, if you are lying down and looking at the sky, somebody sees an elephant there, somebody sees a
camel there.
You see all the forms, but they are transient. Form you see and then it disappears. Form you see, then it disappears. That's why this Drishta Nishta Swabhava, Drishta Naksha Swabhava. They are visible, they disappear. They are visible, they disappear. The whole Jagat is like that. Drishta Nashta Swabhava. When you were children, you all have done this. If, for example, you lie down on the grass and look up the sky, if you have a clear sky. In Delhi, you can't do that anymore. You can't see anything. You only see dust. But there was a time when we would do that. You used to sleep outside in the open, so it was very nice to lie down and watch all those interesting things. Even now, I think not now, some years ago when I had gone to Shivpuri, we stayed overnight in Shivpuri. It is higher up from Rishikesh. Beautiful. You could see all the stars. You can't see any star in Delhi. No star is visible. Terrible. But not only is there pollution, there's also light pollution. There's so much light everywhere that what is naturally seen is not being seen. So this Gandharva Patanam is that the shapes that you look at and imagine. It's used very often in Shastra. Many other places also you will see this Gandharva Patanam.
Yeah. So as you see the castle falls. That is the Gandharva the city of Gandharvas, celestials, in the Akasha, in space. You see clouds, and in the clouds you see the Gandharva That Gandharva has got its Adhisthana only in space, Akasha. Akasha pervades the whole Gandharva Similarly, Mayi Chid Vyomni. In me which is in the form of Chaitanya alone, which we can call Akasha, Chid Vyomni, in the space that is consciousness, or in the consciousness space, Chaitanya Chid Vyomni is Jagat Gandharva Patanam, is this cloud city called Jagat, the world. This Jagat, Mayi Chid Vyomni Eva Udeti, it arises in me. Mayi Paramatmani Eva Udeti, Mayi Sachidanande Brahmani Ityartaha. Not only Udeti, but also Astam Yeti. So not only it arises, but also collapses. It also resolves in me alone. As long as it is there, it is in me alone. In me alone it is there. The Saptami is indicating the Adhisthana, and therefore Mayi Udeti, Mayi Eva Stitihi, and then again unto me alone it resolves. Mayi Eva Astam Yeti. Therefore, Ataha, therefore, how can you say I am not Brahman? Katam aham na Brahma. How can I not be Brahman? Because from me alone everything has come. If you say Brahman is Jagat Karanam, yes, that Brahman is me. Vivarta Upadana Karanatvat. Being the Vivarta Vipadana Karanam, Sarvam Mayeva. It's mine alone. It is all analyzed. These verses are all the outcome of the analysis that has happened before. Therefore, Atoham na Katham Brahma Sarvajnam Sarvakaranam. Ahameva Sarvajnam Sarvakaranam. Aham Brahmaiva Sarvam Jnanati iti Sarvajna Sarvajnam Brahma. With reference to Brahman, everything is Sakshyam. I am the Sakshi, and the Sakshi Chaitanya. Therefore, Sarvam Jnanati does not mean Kramena Jnanati. Sarvam Jnanati means Swarupa is Jnapti Swarupa, or with Maya Upadi, I am Sarvajna and Sarvakarana. With the Upadi alone, I am Sarvajnam. Sarvakaranam. Ishvara is not separate from me because Ishvara is Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma, Vastu. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma, Vastu. Therefore, the Sarvakaranatvam of Ishvara is Mithya. How do you know it is Mithya? It is not mentioned here. It is Mithya because Jagat is referred to as Gandharva Patanam. Gandharva Patanam means it is Mithya. It has no being of its own. That is the idea. Therefore, it has no being of its own. Its being is only Chid Akasha. In this Chid Vyoma alone is its being. Therefore, how can I not be that Brahman?
Would somebody like to summarize this verse and what it's saying? It's clear, I hope. Okay, let me initiate it, but I still want somebody to take do the summary. I said this is Tatastha Lakshanam. Swarupa Lakshana is direct description of Brahman, of I. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma is the direct Kshartha.
Pratyaksha.
Right? But when in this case, what is Tatastha Lakshanam? It is an indirect description. It's not a direct description of Brahman. Why is it an indirect description? We know this Jagat exists. Or we think we know. We look at it from our perspective and say Jagat exists, Jagat is there. Everything in the Jagat is there. Physically, things are there. Happiness is there, sadness is there, everything is there. And in this Jagat is where my thinking starts. So I have to account for the Jagat. I have to take care of the Jagat, I say. So what is done is you show Brahman as Jagat Karna. What is the Hetu? By what did the Jagat come up? And Shastra says the only reason it come up is because of Brahman. Then Brahman doesn't create anything. Brahman is Akarta. So Shastra says, no, Brahman is Akarta, but with the Maya Upadhi, Brahman is a creator. But Brahman doesn't change. There's no change in Brahman. Therefore, Vivarta Upadana Karanam. But so many things are changing, so we have to give something. So we say the changing thing is Maya. So that Maya is Parinami Upadana Karanam. And we say, what he's trying to tell us is, this, what you indirectly indicate Brahman as Jagat Karanam, who is Sarvajna, Sarvashaktiman, is I. That is Brahman, the same Brahman. I've already shown Swarupa Lakshana. How do you say I? Let us look at our own, how we create a whole Jagat. By ourselves, we create a whole Jagat in Swapna. Correct? Everything. And in that Swapna Jagat is the Swapna I. I am there in the Swapna. I create everything, including time and space. Remember, this time and space that I have created in the Swapna Jagat, Swapna Prapancham, is not the same as the time and space that I know in the waking Jagat. The different time and space. So this kind of projection that I have, to create this Swapna Jagat, is called Nidra Shakti. It is also a Shakti given to me by Maya. But I also have the power to create the whole waking world. The whole waking world also I only create. This dreamer world I have created, that is easy to understand. The waker world also I only create. As though this Jagrit Prapancham I create, I am the creator, but what happens? I get into the Jagat and forget that I'm the creator. I am part of the Jagat. Exactly the way I create the I in the Swapna Prapancham and I create the I becomes a Swapna I. That I does not know anything about having created this Jagat. Swapna Prapancham. Same way, in the waking world, I create the waking world and I'm in the waking world. And when I get into the waking world, I forget that I'm the creator. Then I start looking elsewhere saying, who created the Jagat? And then I say that Jagat Karanam Brahma is the creator. I call it Ishvara because I have given a Maya Shakti attached to this Brahman to create a Ishvarathvam. What is Ishvarathvam? Ishvara is Brahman. No different from Brahman. But Ishwaratvam is mithya. Because you've created a quality for Brahman by bringing in the idea of Maya. Somewhere I remember somebody also said, no, that where did when you were reading, I saw this.
Third last para. Therefore, the Sarva Karanatvam is of Ishvara is mithya.
Sarva Karanatam is mithya. Ishwaratvam is mithya. Because Ishvara is not mithya. Ishvara is Brahman. Similarly, Jiva is Brahman. No different. But Jivatvam is mithya. So this Tatastha Lakshanam that we see, because of the Maya given Shakti to create both the my Nidra Shakti to create Supreme Prapancham and the Maya Shakti to create the whole Jagat. In the Nidra Shakti, in using the Nidra Shakti in creating the Nidra Prapancham, I am there, but when I'm in there, I don't know. Here also, I am in here, I don't know. What a nice way. In fact, there is a very beautiful sentence in one Upanishad called Garbhopanishad. It describes the whole process of childbirth. I don't know where I ran into it, but it's not commonly read or referred to. There it says, that the fetus, when it's about to come out into the world, knows everything. Knows also that I'm going to come out in the world. Knows all that it did or didn't do in previous janmas. But the moment it comes out of the world and hit by the atmosphere in the world, I guess, forgets everything. Doesn't remember anything. Like that here also. We create the Jagat. We are the creator. Then I enter the Jagat. I'm not the creator anymore. I'm one of the created. One of the creations. Yes, Shubha.
So, because we forget that we are the creator, we end up reacting
That's
to
correct.
everything
We
in
forget
the
we are the
world.
creator and we assume, see, once you forget you're the creator, once you forget your true nature as the Atma, you're left in a limbo because you still know that you are there. So you have to assign something to that existence. And we do
So you
that
end up,
erroneously.
and we end up being subject to all the
Yeah.
uh,
So
yeah,
all this
all the
exercise we are doing of studying is to remove that false notion and hopefully understand again the real nature of the self.
Swamiji, can we say that freedom is not what Swamiji is trying to say? Freedom is not an event. It's not a state. It's only an understanding.
Correct.
You stop trying to become free because you are
Moksha is
you are
freedom.
never
If
bound.
you say freedom is moksha, there's only understanding. There's nothing else.
You are never bound.
What is the understanding that I'm never bound?
Yeah, that's.
I think I am bound because I have assumed the values and properties of the upadhi as my upadhi, my properties. And among them, many things, limitations. All I got to figure it out that I'm making a mistake in that assumption. Divyansh?
Swamiji, this uh, dream and waking world you said, like, is there any like substantial difference between dream and waking world? Because when we say in the waking world, our senses are working, we are perceiving the world, but that is also a projection of mind only, right? Like, everything we are is appearing in mind also. In the dream also it looks real. It looks like our senses are working and we are seeing a real world. So is there any substantial difference?
It is a little more complex than that, because in the dream Divyansh doesn't know. The one who is in the dream doesn't know.
Yes.
He thinks he is a creature in that prapancham. Who knows? The waker Divyansh, his mind knows.
Huh. Right.
When does he know? When you wake up.
When you wake up.
Nidra state. Semi-nidra state. If you want to take a similar comparison, we only can say that I am today in this Jagat by comparing with what happens in my dream, and therefore I have a waking there. Is there another I? Is there another I which is the karana for everything? Like the waker's mind is the karana for everything in the dream.
Yes.
That knowledge that is gathered during the waking hours is projected. Is there another I which transcends the waking prapancham? And once I recognize that I, then this becomes like a dream world.
But
Darpana drishyamana nagari tulyam nijantargatam pashyannatmani mayaya vairivod bhutam nidraya sakshat kurute prabodha samaye swatmanamevadvayam. I am Advaya Sak. So it is the waking up is referred to as knowledge. That's also knowledge only. When I gain that knowledge, when I gain understanding, my ajnanam goes, and I recognize the problem is that it is not that I'm going away from this. I only have then two perspectives. I have a perspective of seeing this whole Jagat from the Paramarthika perspective, which I have not been able to see so far. But my Vyavaharika Drishti continues. What is the difference? My recognition of this as a Vyavaharika Drishti, which is not the truth. It is a projection.
So my question is like dreamer and the dream world is the projection of waking mind. And waker and the waking world is also the projection of waking mind.
No.
Why not? I am seeing it in the waking mind only, no?
No, in the again, you be very careful in these comparisons. That dream world is only an example for us to say that it's possible. How is it possible?
Right.
You are in the dream. Divyansh is in the dream. That Divyansh in the dream doesn't know anything other than what he knows in the dream.
Yes.
When does he know? He will never know. But when you wake up, there is no more dream left.
True. Yeah.
What is left is only the waking Jagat. In the waking Jagat, the waking Divyansh recognizes that that was a projection.
Yes.
Now here, from the waking world, how are you going to wake up?
There is no other waking.
Therefore, I'm saying, if you understand that the waking Jagat is also projection, and that's created by the real I, which is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. So this Maya, basically avidya, our Nidra is also avidya only. We create this prapancha. So what he is trying to say, therefore, aham katham na brahma. I am sarvajñam, sarvakaranam. Sarvajñam also you have to understand. It is not, Swamiji said here somewhere, I am not kramena sarvajñam. Sarvam janati sarvajñaha. With reference to Brahman, it is everything is sakshyam. I am sakshi. Therefore, sarvam janati does not mean Kramena janati. You can't suddenly say, I'm a Sarvajna. Do you know Tulu? I don't even know what Tulu is. How can I know Tulu? Tulu instead is a language spoken by some people in India.
Mangalore.
So that it is not the Kramena janati. So you can't ask a question. Who does it say is a Sarvajna? Not the Ahankara, not this body mind sense complex. Just like the dream Divyansh, if we asked, he's feeling sad, and the wise man comes and says, the sadness, this does not belong to you. He will not agree. So he doesn't know. Same thing with us. Our knowledge is only as long as you don't know the truth, which is about yourself, you will always have limited knowledge. Therefore, if somebody is going to say, test your brain, you won't find any difference. My IQ hasn't suddenly jumped from 89 to 189. Because the IQ measuring is still Vyavaharika.
Is it like Samanya Gyan and Vishesha Gyan?
No, let's not be careful using these words. I'm repeating when you use these words. Samanya Gyanam normally refers to the knowledge that I exist. Vishesha Jnanam refers to the nature of I. See, nobody denies you exist. Everybody says I exist. Nobody can say I don't exist. That is Samanya Jnanam. That the existence of the self is Samanya Jnanam. There also what happens? We make an assumption that I that exists is the body mind sense complex. So Samanya Jnanam falsified. Even that is falsified. But Vishesha Jnanam is the true nature of I. If you didn't know you exist, for example, there's no problem. Then there's no issue at all. Problem is that you have Samanya Jnanam, but you don't have Vishesha Jnanam. Okay. If there are any other comments on this verse, Tatastha Lakshanam Aikyam. No? Then shall we move on to the next one?
One more question, Swami.
Yeah, sure.
This Sarvagnyam, so that is that, like I reveal everything. In that sense, I am Sarvagnyam, the Brahman.
Say that again. I didn't catch you.
When we say Aham Sarvagnyam, so we say that in the sense that I reveal everything, like the Brahman reveal everything. In that sense, I am Sarvagnyam.
Yeah. But as long as you don't identify with the Ahankara, you can say I'm Sarvajñam.
Yes, in every body, like.
Yeah. No. Sarvajñam means knows everything, not in everybody. Nya dhatu, nya pratyaya says, for example, Ghatagnya is one who knows Ghata. Patagnya is one who knows Pata. Sarvajña is one who knows everything, Sarva. Sarvam janati iti Sarvajña.
Okay.
Not in everybody, not that kind of meaning.
Like Ishvara knows how to create this world, like that.
Yeah, that capacity, the knowledge to create everything.
Okay.
As though. Always add as though. Okay, shall we move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Verse 5. Now the author elaborates the second paksha of the preceding verse. Atmana Nasha.
We are doing verse 4, right?
Jagdish sir, we have to go to verse 4.
One objection was met.
One objection was met. Now the next objection is raised. We hear Nityam, Vibhum, Sarvagatam, Sushukshmam in the Shastra, that Brahma Vastu is said to be Nityam, eternal. It is not subject to time, it is timeless. Vibhu is all pervasive. Vibhu means that which becomes many. Vividham bhavati iti vibhu. And Sarvajnatam, Sarvagatam, all pervasive. Susukshmam, it is not available for objectification. This is how Brahman is presented in the Shastra as Nitya Vastu.
Sorry, Swami. So, I was just thinking, so about the Samanya Jnanam and Vishesha Jnanam. Sorry. I thought Samanya Jnanam is like knowing I am Brahman, gives me the knowledge that I am everything. It is as though I know everything. That is Samanya Jnanam. And when we say Ishvara is Sarvajna, it is because Ishvara knows everything in specific. We call that as Vishesha Jnanam, right? So that knowing something in specific is Vishesha Jnanam, and
technically, Samanya Jnanam means general knowledge. Vishesha Jnanam is a particular aspect of that in detail.
Yes.
Vishesha Jnanam. So you can apply it anywhere. These two terms can be applied in any context, but here in the context of what we're trying to understand, I said the knowledge that I am is Samanya Jnanam, and the knowledge, the nature of the I is Vishesha Jnanam. We can apply it anywhere.
Okay, so
yes, sir.
It is not available for objectification. This is how Brahman is presented as in the Shastra as a Nitya Vastu, whereas I am a mortal, Anityaham. I am someone who is subject to old age, the 5-6 changes which happen, etc. I am someone who is born, Jayate, then I am subject to Asti, Ityadi, Sadbhava, Vikaras, all parinamas, all changes I am subject to. Therefore, Anityoham, Anityaham. How can this Anitya Atma, I, be Param Brahma?
Is that objection clear? There is, again, you did not find a verse talking that this is objection. What Swamiji is trying to do is taking this verse and saying, what does it address? How you could actually word an objection which it addresses. Because this verse, like I said, in the previous verse, we looked at Tatasa Lakshanam, and before that, we looked at Swarupa Lakshanam. These next couple of verses will talk about Nitya Lakshanam, Nityatva Lakshanam. That it is not subject to time. If Atma, Brahman is Nitya, how can I, who is Anitya, how can I be the same as the Nitya Brahman? Everything in the Jagat is subject to time. Therefore, if I have to be not subject to time, I cannot be part of the Jagat. I have to be something else. But the way it's analyzed here is slightly differently. What does, in what way, Anitya means what you get destroyed. You get destroyed in time, you get destroyed in whatever other ways that he will talk about. In what possible ways can anything be destroyed? And then you look at each one of them and say, in this particular manner, am I destructible? And eventually show that by none of these means can I be described as being destructible. Therefore, I am also Nitya. And this Nityatva Aikyam is what he's going to prove in the next 2-3 verses. I don't know how many, but in the next few verses, we're going to talk about that. So the objection is clearly that I am Anitya, Brahman is Nitya. How can you say I am Brahman?
How can we equate the two? Okay.
How can you equate the two? So that is the thing, then we will see how he addresses that. Yeah. Please continue.
So, I am subject to Asti Ityadi Sadbhava Vikaras. All Parinamas I am subject to. Therefore,
what is the Sadbhava Vikara? Sadvikara? Asti?
Asti Jati.
Jayate.
Asti Jayate.
Viyate.
Vardate. Parinamate. Aprakshiyate. And Vinashyati.
And
Vinashyati. Vinashyati.
Everybody knows. I think do all of you know this Shadvikara? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Jayade asti vardade viparinamate.
Apakshiyate
and vinashyate.
Vinashyati. Yeah, please go.
To answer this doubt, the author presents an argument. All right. Atmanaha Nashaha Katam. Here the vikalpas, the possibilities for Atma Nasha, or Shwataha, Anyatha, or by Ashraya Vinasha. So one possibility is Atmanaha Nashaha, the destruction of the Atma, should be Shwataha.
No. Atma Nasha means self-destruction.
Self-destruction.
This, you have to be careful what the thing. Swataha.
Swataha by itself, by oneself.
Like everything else in the Jagat, in time everything will die. Everything will be destroyed. You don't need anything external to destroy that.
Should be Swataha,
so one is Atma Nasha. It is Swata, it's
self-destruction. Nasha, the destruction of the Atma, should be Swataha.
And the other one is Atmana Nasha, destruction of Atma, should be Swataha.
The other one must be Anyataha, or by Ashraya Vinasha.
Where is that? Oh, Anyataha, or by Ashraya Vinasha. Anyataha means or by somebody else or something else.
So by self, or by others, or by Ashraya Vinasha.
Ashraya Vinasha means that which is the Adhisthana for that itself gets destroyed. Like if clay were to be destroyed completely, then what will be destroyed? Like that.
So one possibility is Atmana Nasha, the destruction of the Atma, should be Swataha, like the Shanika Vijnanis. Atma, Swata Nashyati. For them, Atma is a flicker of consciousness. A series of flickers of consciousness constitutes your so-called Atma. In fact, Atma is only a flicker. It is a flicker of consciousness, yat swayam nashyati. You need not do anything about it. It gets destroyed by itself. It occurs and goes, and therefore it is momentary. Therefore, swataha eva anityatvam. Swataha nashyati. The continuity of the Atma is mithya. Nityatvam is mithya, and Atma is swayam anityaha. This is their contention. This is the Jains, is it?
One sect Buddhist.
Buddhist.
Shanikavad. Okay, before we start reading, can anybody think of how you can refute that? How can you say that Atma cannot be self-destruct? if it is kshanika. If their argument is Atma is kshanika, that means it is momentary, it is there and it's not there. There is not there. What counter arguments can you think of?
How do you know?
No, that itself is mistya. Because it's Gadya, Atma is Nityam. It's never born, it never dies. It's
Correct.
always there.
No, okay, that definitely way of looking at it. You can give a logic-based argument. That is the Shastra is telling us that it is Nityam. And I am not Nityam, he's saying.
So how does he know that he is not
Because
Nityam?
I am Kshanika, Atma is Kshanika. That is his philosophy. That's his thinking. That means Atma is there, is not there. Is there, is not there. Is there, is not there. What counter arguments can one think of?
Nothing goes out of existence into the void, and nothing comes into existence from the void.
Nasato.
True. 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 We also have experienced that, and science also tells us nothing ever gets destroyed. Matter cannot be destroyed.
Yeah,
Energy cannot be destroyed. So that probably one type of argument. So to say that how can everything, something, Atma be kshanika? Any other?
If someone asks me this question, I don't need to answer him because anyway in the other moment he will go away.
Yes, true. True. If you could not be there, who should I answer to? Who should I give the answer to? You're not there, you're kshanika. Any other form of argument that you can
And
think
also
of?
like we can say like how can you tell like you are Shanika? If you say that in the absence, you are observing the absence, you must be there.
Correct. It's also a good argument. How can you say that I was not there? You don't know. How can you say I was there because you're gone? You're kshanika. You can't argue either way. You know, there is other philosophy also, no? Shunyavadis, who say there is no Atma. They're also same problem. Atma doesn't exist. Here at we are trying to answer a fellow who says it existed but destroyed. Existed, destroyed. Existed, destroyed. Existed, destroyed. How do you know?
Is it also in the context of the three states? The waking, the dreamer, and the
develop on
and
that.
the deep sleep state.
Develop on that.
So regardless of the state, you know you exist. Atma. I mean, it's, and you're conscious of that fact, or you're aware. Yeah, I don't know how to develop it.
That's a good thought. Think about it. These are all things we should try and see if we can come up with arguments to show either support him or negate his argument. We will read that. I'm sure Swamiji has come up with all of these things that we're all coming up with.
Swamiji.
He's come up with those discussions in the next. But I think we'll do that in the next class. We're already running out of time. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om